When was the last time you truly listened to the words you speak to yourself? Not the words you say out loud to others, but the quiet voice that no one else hears. That voice is powerful. It shapes how you see yourself, how you act, and ultimately how far you will go. For many, that inner voice is filled with doubt, fear, and reasons to quit. But what if, instead of letting it tear you down, you trained it to build you up? What if every single day you chose to speak words that make you stronger, not weaker? Think about it. You already know how much someone's encouragement can lift you. A kind word from a friend can make your day. A mentor's belief in you can push you to try harder. But here's the truth that most people forget. No one speaks to you more than you speak to yourself. And if you are not intentional about those words, your own voice can be the biggest enemy to your success. That's why learning to tell yourself the right things every day is not just important. It is essential. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it grows. If you plant doubt, excuses, and negativity, they take root and spread. But if you plant courage, belief, and clarity, that also grows. The question is, what are you planting each morning when you wake up? What seeds are you watering throughout the day? Because the words you repeat to yourself shape the lens through which you see your entire life. This is not empty positivity. Science backs it. Psychologists have found that self-talk directly influences motivation, performance, and even how your body responds to stress. Athletes use it before big games. Leaders use it before stepping into tough situations, and everyday people just like you can use it to transform their mindset one thought at a time. It starts with deciding to become the author of your inner dialogue instead of the victim of it. Imagine beginning your day by feeding your mind words that make you stronger. Imagine replacing I can't with I will, replacing I'm not enough with I am growing. Imagine the difference it would make in your energy, your focus, your courage. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about reminding yourself that you are capable of facing whatever comes your way. It's about rewriting the script that has been holding you back and creating one that propels you forward. Because here's the reality, life will test you. There will be days when everything feels heavy, when nothing goes as planned, when the world seems against you. On those days, the words you say to yourself become either your weapon or your weakness. They can either give you the strength to rise or the excuse to fall. And that choice will determine how far you go. Stay with me because in the moments ahead, you will learn 9 simple but powerful truths to tell yourself every day. 9 reminders that will rewire the way you think, shift the way you feel, and push you to act with courage instead of fear. These are not just words. They are tools, anchors you can hold on to when life tries to shake you, sparks that can reignite your drive when you feel it fading. And if you commit to speaking them into your life daily, you will feel a shift in your confidence, your focus, and your purpose. So ask yourself again, what voice will you choose to listen to? The one that holds you down or the one that lifts you higher? Because the moment you change the way you speak to yourself, you change the way you live. Stay with me because by the end, you will have the daily words that can transform your entire journey. The first truth you must speak into your life every single day is this: I am capable. Simple words, but they carry a force that can break chains of doubt. Think about how often you hold yourself back, not because you lack the skill, not because you lack the opportunity, but because you tell yourself you're not ready, not good enough, not strong enough. That inner dialogue becomes a cage. But the moment you remind yourself, I am capable, you begin to unlock the door. Capability is not perfection. It's not about knowing everything or never making mistakes. It's about trusting that you have the strength to figure things out, to adapt, to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. You don't need to have all the answers right now. What you need is the courage to believe that you can rise to the occasion, whatever it may be. That belief changes everything. Psychologists call this self-efficacy, the belief in your own ability to succeed at a task. Studies show that people who hold this belief don't avoid challenges. They embrace them. They don't see obstacles as stop signs. They see them as chances to grow. And the truth is, you already have evidence of your capability. You have survived difficult days. You have endured setbacks. You have solved problems that once felt impossible. Every scar, every lesson, every victory, big or small, proves that you are capable of more than you realize. But here's the danger. If you don't consciously remind yourself of this, the mind drifts towards self-doubt. Fear takes the microphone. That's why you must make this affirmation a daily ritual. Not once in a while, Not only when life feels easy, but every single day, before the world can tell you what you're not, you tell yourself what you are: capable, resourceful, strong enough to face what comes. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine what your day would feel like if you carried that belief into every situation. Walking into a meeting with confidence, approaching your goals with certainty, facing setbacks with the quiet, knowing that you can figure it out. That is the power of self-talk. It doesn't erase challenges, but it transforms how you meet them. Many people wait until they feel capable to take action, but that's the trap. Waiting only deepens hesitation. The truth is reversed. Action builds capability. The more you act, the more you learn. The more you learn, the stronger you become. And the stronger you become, the more capable you feel. It's a cycle, and it starts with a choice to speak the words before you feel them fully, to declare your capability until your actions and results catch up with your belief. So tomorrow morning, when you look in the mirror, remind yourself, I am capable. Say it until your mind begins to believe it. Say it until your body carries itself differently, with strength, with conviction, with presence. Say it until hesitation loses its grip and confidence takes its place. Because the truth is, you are capable. Not someday, not if everything lines up perfectly, but now in this very moment. Hold on to that truth. Plant it deep in your heart. Because once you truly know that you are capable, no setback can defeat you. No doubt can silence you, and no challenge can hold you back. You carry the strength within you already. All that's left is to remind yourself of it every single day. There is another truth. You must tell yourself each day, I'm worthy of love, worthy of respect, worthy of growth, worthy of success. Too many people live as if their worth must be earned, as if it is something given by others and taken away at the first mistake. But your worth is not conditional. It's not tied to your achievements, your status, or the approval of anyone else. It is something you were born with. It is the foundation you must build on if you want to rise higher. Think about how much energy you waste questioning your value. Every time you shrink back because you fear rejection, every time you compare yourself to someone else and feel small, every time you dismiss your own progress because it doesn't look like theirs, you are forgetting your worth. That kind of self-doubt eats away at confidence and makes even the strongest dreams feel impossible. But when you remind yourself that you are worthy, everything shifts. You no longer beg for acceptance. You no longer settle for less than you deserve. You walk into every space knowing that your presence has meaning. Psychology shows that self-worth is at the core of resilience and fulfillment. People with high self-worth recover from setbacks faster because they don't see failure as a reflection of their identity. They see it as feedback, as part of the journey. On the other hand, those with low self-worth carry shame that cripples their ability to grow. That's why this truth is so critical. It protects you from the voices, both inside and outside, that try to tell you that you're not enough. Pause for a moment and feel the weight of those words, I am worthy. Say them slowly, with conviction. Let them sink in. Worthy of joy even on hard days. Worthy of opportunities even if you failed before. Worthy of respect even if others don't always give it. Worthy of the life you dream of, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. When you embrace your worth, you stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop chasing validation and start creating from a place of authenticity. You stop letting fear decide your future and start living with intention. People notice it too. They see the quiet confidence, the way you carry yourself differently, the way you no longer bend under the weight of other people's opinions. Worth begins within, but it radiates outward, changing how the world responds to you. This does not mean arrogance. It does not mean thinking you are better than others. It means recognizing that you, just like every person, carry an intrinsic value that cannot be measured, compared, or diminished. It means walking through life with the unshakable understanding that you are allowed to dream big, you are allowed to grow, you are allowed to take up the space that was always yours. And here's the truth. If you don't remind yourself of this daily, the world will try to convince you otherwise. There will always be critics. There will always be comparisons. There will always be pressures to prove yourself. But when you rise each morning and declare, I am worthy, you build a shield around your heart, a shield that allows you to move forward with courage, with dignity, with self-respect. Carry those words with you. Let them echo when doubt creeps in. Let them anchor you when others question you. Let them guide you when choices feel heavy. Because when you truly believe in your worth, you stop living small. You step into the life you were meant to create unapologetically, powerfully, and free. There is another truth you need to carry with you each day. I am enough. These 3 words hold the power to silence the endless chase, the exhausting comparisons, the feeling that no matter what you do, it will never be good enough. How often do you move through life believing you must become more, achieve more, or prove more before you can finally rest and feel whole? That constant striving can feel like running on a treadmill, always moving, never arriving. But the truth is, you already are enough right here, right now, as you are. When you tell yourself you are enough, you are not saying there's no room to grow. Growth is natural, and striving for better is part of life. What you are saying is that your value is not dependent on reaching some future milestone. You are declaring that who you are today has meaning, has weight, has beauty. And from that foundation, you can grow without pressure, without shame, without feeling like you are forever falling short. Psychologists have found that feelings of inadequacy fuel anxiety, depression, and burnout. The belief that you are not enough keeps you trapped in cycles of overworking, overthinking, and overcompensating. But when you begin to truly believe that you are already enough, you break free from that cycle. You allow yourself to experience peace in the present moment. You allow yourself to pursue dreams, not out of desperation to prove yourself, but out of joy, curiosity, and vision. Close your eyes and think about how different your life could feel if you no longer carried the weight of not enough. Imagine moving through your day without comparing your body, your income, your relationships, or your achievements to anyone else's. Imagine feeling grounded, confident, and calm because you know without question that you are whole. That kind of inner stability is what allows people to thrive. It creates resilience. It strengthens courage. It makes you unstoppable because you are no longer fueled by fear. You are fueled by self-acceptance. Saying I am enough is not about ignoring flaws or denying mistakes. It is about realizing that imperfection does not erase value. You can be both a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. You can still have goals, still want more, still push yourself forward, but from a place of strength, not emptiness. When you affirm your enoughness daily, you stop treating life as a race to prove yourself and start living it as a journey to express yourself. There will always be outside voices trying to tell you that you are lacking. Advertisements designed to make you feel incomplete. Social media feeds that highlight what you don't have. Critics who project their insecurities onto you. But their noise cannot touch you if you have already decided deep within that you are enough. That belief becomes a shield. It quiets the lies and amplifies the truth. So every morning, remind yourself, I am enough. Speak it when you feel the urge to compare. Speak it when you fall short of your own expectations. Speak it when life feels overwhelming and you wonder if you're capable of handling it. These words are not a soft comfort. They are a declaration of power. They remind you that nothing is missing from who you are. When you stand in the truth that you are enough, you stop doubting your place in the world. You stop chasing approval you already carry within yourself. And you begin to live with freedom, confidence, and peace. Because the moment you truly believe you are enough, life no longer feels like something you have to earn. It becomes something you get to embrace. Another truth you must affirm daily is this: I have the power to choose. These words remind you that no matter what has happened, no matter where you've been, no matter what circumstances you face, your choices remain in your hands. Too often people forget this. They hand their power over to fear, to excuses, to the opinions of others, and then wonder why life feels heavy and out of control. But the reality is that every day you wake up, you are presented with choices that shape your destiny. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you always control how you respond. When you claim the power of choice, you stop living as a victim of circumstance. You stop waiting for luck, waiting for permission, waiting for perfect conditions that may never come. Instead, you step into the driver's seat of your life. Every decision, big or small, becomes a chance to shape your future. The choice to get up when you feel tired. The choice to keep going when things are hard. The choice to let go of what no longer serves you. These small decisions compound, creating momentum, building habits, and defining who you become. Psychologists call this internal locus of control, the belief that you are in charge of your own life. Research shows that people who hold this belief are more resilient, more motivated, and more successful. They do not waste energy blaming others or dwelling on what they cannot change. They focus on what they can influence, and that focus gives them strength. The truth is, your life is not shaped by what happens to you, but by the choices you make in response to what happens. Think about how liberating it feels to realize you are not trapped. Even in the most difficult situations, there is always a choice. You can choose your attitude. You can choose your effort. You can choose your perspective. You can choose to rise when everything in you wants to quit. This power has been with you all along. You simply need to claim it. Say it with conviction. I have the power to choose. Let those words sink in. They remind you that you are not at the mercy of your past. You are not bound by other people's expectations. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are free to choose new thoughts, new actions, new paths. And with every choice, you are writing the story of your life. Imagine how your day transforms when you approach it with this mindset. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by what you can't control, you begin to focus on what you can. Instead of letting fear dictate your steps, you choose courage. Instead of letting negativity poison your mind, you choose gratitude, focus, and strength. These choices, repeated over time, create a life filled with meaning, growth, and fulfillment. There will always be pressures and distractions trying to pull you away from this truth. But when you wake up each day and remind yourself that you have the power to choose, you reclaim control over your life. You stop being dragged by circumstances and start leading yourself with intention. So hold on to those words as an anchor. I have the power to choose. Say them when you feel stuck. Say them when the weight of the world feels heavy. Say them when doubt whispers that you have no control. Because the truth is, you always have a choice. And the choices you make, no matter how small, have the power to transform everything. There is a truth you must repeat until it becomes part of you. I am stronger than my struggles. Life will never be free from challenges. Struggles come in many forms: fear, loss, failure, rejection, uncertainty. And they have a way of making you feel small, powerless, and alone. But the fact that you are here right now is proof that you have already survived storms that once felt impossible. Every scar you carry, every trial you've endured, every moment you thought would break you but didn't. Those are reminders of your strength. When you remind yourself daily that you are stronger than your struggles, you shift the balance of power. You stop seeing problems as walls and start seeing them as tests. Tests not to destroy you, but to reveal the depth of your resilience. Struggles do not come to define you. They come to shape you. And every time you choose to keep going, when it would be easier to give up, you are proving that your strength is greater than your pain. Research shows that resilience, the ability to recover from difficulty, is not something people are simply born with. It's built, it's cultivated through the choices you make, the mindset you hold, and the belief that you can endure. Those who thrive are not those who never face struggle, but those who refuse to let struggle define their identity. They choose to see obstacles as opportunities to grow. They choose to see challenges as training for the future. They choose to trust their own strength even when it feels hidden. Imagine waking up each day with this declaration burning inside you: I'm stronger than my struggles. Imagine the courage that would rise when setbacks try to discourage you. Imagine the calm it would bring when uncertainty tries to shake you. Imagine the determination it would fuel when the road feels long and hard. This belief doesn't remove pain, but it gives you the endurance to carry it and keep moving forward anyway. Strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is the decision to rise in the face of it. It's the quiet resolve to take one more step even when everything in you wants to stop. It's the faith that even the hardest seasons can become stepping stones to something greater. Every time you live this truth, you prove to yourself that you are far more powerful than the challenges in front of you. Say it now and mean it: I am stronger than my struggles. Let those words echo louder than doubt. Let them carry you when your energy feels drained. Let them remind you that no storm lasts forever and no struggle has the final word. You do. Life will test you again and again, but you are not fragile. You are not defined by the weight of your hardships. You are defined by the strength you uncover in the middle of them. The world may try to convince you that you are weak, that you cannot endure, that you should quit, but the truth you carry within is greater. You are strong enough to rise, strong enough to keep going, strong enough to overcome. So hold on to this daily. Repeat it until it becomes a part of your identity. Because the moment you choose to believe that you are stronger than your struggles lose their power over you. They no longer control your story. You do. Another truth you must carry with you is this. My future is greater than my past. Too often people live chained to yesterday, regretting mistakes, replaying failures, or clinging to moments that cannot be changed. The weight of the past can feel heavy, almost impossible to release. But the truth is that no single chapter defines your entire story. Every sunrise offers you proof that life is not finished with you yet. As long as you are breathing, there's more ahead than what lies behind. When you affirm that your future is greater than your past, you give yourself permission to move forward. You stop letting old pain dictate new possibilities. You stop believing that what happened before has the right to control what comes next. Yes, the past may have shaped you, but it does not limit you. It may have written some pages, but the pen is still in your hand. Psychologists remind us that the human brain is wired to overemphasize negative experiences, a survival instinct designed to keep us safe. But this same instinct often traps us in cycles of guilt and fear. By consciously shifting your focus toward the future, you retrain your mind. Hope begins to replace regret. Possibility begins to outweigh fear. And suddenly what felt like a closed door becomes a reminder that other doors still stand waiting to be opened. Say it with conviction. My future is greater than my past. Let those words break the chains of self-doubt. Let them silence the voices that tell you nothing can change. Every day is a blank page, and you hold the power to decide what gets written on it. You can choose growth over stagnation. You can choose courage over fear. You can choose to leave behind what no longer serves you and walk toward what is calling you forward. Imagine the energy that would surge through you if you fully embrace this truth. Imagine waking up not burdened by yesterday, but fueled by tomorrow. Imagine looking at challenges not as reminders of what went wrong before, but as opportunities to create something better. That is the power of living with your eyes forward, with your heart open to what's possible. The past cannot be changed, but it can be redeemed. Every mistake can become a lesson. Every wound can become wisdom. Every ending can become the beginning of something stronger. But this transformation only happens when you believe that the best is still ahead. Without that belief, you remain stuck, reliving old pain and forfeiting the beauty waiting to unfold. So each morning declare it boldly, my future is greater than my past. Speak it until your heart believes it. Speak it until your actions align with it. Speak it until your focus shifts from what you've lost to what you can gain. These words are not about denying reality. They are about redefining it. They remind you that your story is not finished, and the next chapters can be filled with strength, growth, and purpose. No matter how many times you've fallen, no matter how heavy your regrets, no matter how much time feels wasted, there is more ahead. The road before you holds possibility, and every step you take today has the power to create a future brighter than anything behind you. Hold that truth close. Live it fully, and never forget that your past is a lesson, but your future is your masterpiece. Another truth to remind yourself every single day is this. My dreams are worth pursuing. Too many people bury their deepest desires under layers of doubt, fear, and practicality. They convince themselves that their dreams are too big, too unrealistic, too far out of reach. They settle for comfort instead of chasing the fire inside their hearts. But here's the reality. The very fact that a dream burns within you is proof that it matters. It is not random. It is not meaningless. It is a call toward the life you are meant to live. When you affirm that your dreams are worth pursuing, you give yourself permission to step into possibility. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop silencing the voice inside that longs for growth, adventure, and fulfillment. And instead, you begin to honor it. You begin to see your dreams not as selfish indulgences, but as your responsibility, because the world is always changed by people who dare to follow what lights them up. Psychologists tell us that intrinsic motivation, the drive to pursue what genuinely inspires you, is one of the strongest forces for lasting fulfillment. When you follow a path aligned with your dreams, you tap into energy that doesn't fade when things get hard. You find resilience that cannot be manufactured through external rewards alone. People who pursue what matters to them deeply live longer, experience greater well-being, and face obstacles with a strength that surprises even themselves. That is the power of honoring your dreams. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it would feel like to fully believe your dreams are worth it. Imagine the energy of Waking up every morning knowing that the steps you take are pulling you closer to the life you've always envisioned. Imagine the satisfaction of building something that reflects your truest self. That is not a fantasy. It is a possibility waiting for you the moment you decide your dreams deserve action. Say it aloud and let it sink in. My dreams are worth pursuing, worth the effort, worth the sacrifice, worth the risk. Even if others don't understand, even if the path is uncertain, even if it takes longer than you expected. Because here's the truth. Regret weighs more heavily than failure. Fear of trying is far more painful than the lessons you learn along the way. When you give up on your dreams, you give up on a piece of yourself. But when you chase them, even imperfectly, you awaken a strength and joy that nothing else can replace. There will be moments when the world tries to convince you that your dreams are impossible. There will be voices that tell you to settle, to be realistic, to stop aiming so high. But their voices are not your truth. Your truth is that you were not born to simply survive. You were born to create, to grow, to expand, to bring into reality the vision only you can see. So remind yourself each day that your dreams matter. Hold them close when doubt creeps in. Protect them when fear tries to silence them. Fuel them with consistent action, no matter how small. Because every step forward, every decision to keep going, proves that your dreams are not just worth having, they are worth living. And when you believe that fully, nothing can stop you from turning vision into reality. Another truth to anchor into your heart is this: I will not give up. These words may sound simple, but they carry the weight of determination that can turn impossible situations into victories. Life will test your patience. It will push you to the edge of your strength. It will whisper to you that it's easier to quit, that it's safer to stop trying, that the struggle isn't worth it. But the moment you declare, I will not give up, you reclaim your power against every obstacle that stands in your way. Persistence is one of the greatest predictors of success. Studies in psychology show that grit, the ability to sustain effort over the long term, often outweighs talent, intelligence, or even resources. People who refuse to quit, who keep showing up despite setbacks, are the ones who achieve what others only dream about. That is because the act of not giving up builds resilience. Every time you endure, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. Every time you rise after falling, you reinforce the belief that nothing can truly defeat you unless you allow it to. Say those words with conviction. I will not give up. Let them echo in your mind when the weight feels unbearable. Let them guide you when progress seems invisible. Let them carry you when every step forward feels harder than the last. Because in those moments, quitting will whisper like a tempting relief, but relief is temporary, while regret lasts forever. And nothing is more painful than wondering what could have happened if you had just held on a little longer. Think of how many breakthroughs in history came just after the hardest battles. Success often hides on the other side of exhaustion, waiting for those who refuse to stop. You never truly know how close you are to your breakthrough when you're ready to quit. But if you push one step further, if you endure one more day, if you commit to not giving up, you may find that everything you've been working for is closer than you think. This does not mean the journey will be easy. It does not mean you won't face failure, rejection, or setbacks. It means you will not let those things define your ending. It means you choose to rise no matter how many times you fall. It means you commit to your path even when progress feels slow. It means you understand that consistency beats intensity and endurance outlasts excuses. When you repeat daily, I will not give up, you build an identity of perseverance. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop giving power to your fears. You stop letting obstacles dictate your future. Instead, you tell life, no matter how many times you knock me down, I will get back up. No matter how heavy the weight becomes, I will carry it until I grow strong enough to lift more. No matter how long it takes, I will stay the course. Hold on to this truth tightly. Write it into your heart. Speak it until it becomes who you are. Because the difference between those who succeed and those who stop short is not luck or talent. It is the decision to keep moving when others quit. And when you decide every single day that you will not give up, there is no obstacle strong enough to stop you from reaching the life you are meant to create. Another truth you must speak into existence each day is this: I am in control of my mind. Your mind is the command center of your life, shaping every thought, decision, and action. Yet too often, people live as if their minds are wild storms they cannot calm, as if thoughts of fear, doubt, or negativity have the final say. But your mind is not the enemy. It is a tool. And when you take control of it, you unlock a power greater than any external force. The average person has tens of thousands of thoughts every single day. And many of those thoughts are recycled from yesterday, patterns of worry, insecurity, and limitation. Left unchecked, these thoughts build walls around your potential. But when you remind yourself, I am in control of my mind, you reclaim authority over what stays and what goes. You stop being a prisoner of automatic thinking, and you become the architect of your own mental landscape. Psychologists and neuroscientists agree the brain is malleable. Through neuroplasticity, you can rewire your mind by consistently choosing empowering thoughts over destructive ones. Every affirmation, every positive belief, every decision to focus on solutions instead of problems strengthens new pathways in the brain. Over time, this rewiring creates a mind that naturally gravitates toward resilience, creativity, and confidence. This is not theory, it is science, and you have the ability to shape it every single day. Say it with conviction, I'm in control of my mind. These words remind you that fear is only a thought, not a reality. Doubt is only a thought, not a destiny. Negativity is only a thought, not the truth of who you are. And thoughts, unlike external events, can be shifted, replaced, and transformed in an instant. You have the ability to choose which thoughts to believe and which to release. Imagine what would change if you lived with this belief every day. Stress would no longer dictate your energy because you would choose calm over chaos. Fear would no longer hold you hostage because you would choose courage over paralysis. Distractions would no longer steal your focus because you would choose discipline over impulse. The quality of your life is the quality of your thoughts, and the moment you take control of them, everything else begins to change. This does not mean negative thoughts will disappear forever. They will come because you are human. But when they do, you have a choice. You can feed them or you can starve them. You can let them grow into beliefs that limit you, or you can replace them with truths that empower you. The strength lies in remembering that you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of them, and a thinker always has the power to choose. So each morning as you prepare to face the world, remind yourself of this truth. Carry it into your challenges, into your decisions, into your quiet moments when doubt tries to creep in. Say it again and again until it becomes the foundation of your identity. I am in control of my mind. Because when your mind is steady, your path becomes clear. When your thoughts are aligned, your actions follow. And when you master your mind, there's no dream too big, no challenge too great, and no barrier too strong to hold you back. And when you understand that your mind is within your control, you must also remind yourself of the next unshakable truth. I am stronger than my excuses. Excuses are clever lies the mind tells to keep you comfortable, to protect you from risk, to shield you from the pain of growth. They whisper, not today, maybe tomorrow, and in that quiet voice they steal entire years of potential. Every excuse you accept is a brick in the wall that separates you from the life you deserve. But when you rise each day and declare that your strength is greater than your excuses, those walls begin to crumble. Excuses come disguised as logic, but at their core, they are rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of disappointment. Yet fear cannot stop you unless you give it permission. And excuses are the language of that permission. When you see excuses for what they really are, self-made chains, you find the courage to break them. And the moment you break free from excuses, you step into the rare space where discipline lives, where consistency thrives, and where transformation becomes inevitable. Think about it. Every time you say, I don't have time, what you're really saying is, it's not important enough. Every time you say, I'm not ready, what you're really saying is, I'm afraid to start. Every time you say, it's too hard, what you're really saying is, I don't believe in my own strength. But the truth is, you do have the time. You simply need to claim it. You are ready. You simply need to begin. You are strong enough. You simply need to prove it to yourself. Excuses lose their power when you call them by their real name. Psychology reveals that the human brain seeks the path of least resistance. It will always push you toward comfort, toward the familiar, toward safety. But growth never lives in comfort. Growth lives on the other side of effort, sweat, and persistence. When you refuse to give in to excuses, You are training your brain to push beyond its natural limits, to expand its capacity for resilience and strength. Each time you silence an excuse, you build mental toughness that carries into every part of your life. Imagine how unstoppable you become when excuses no longer rule you. You wake up early not because it's easy, but because your goals matter. You follow through on promises to yourself, even when no one is watching, because integrity matters. You take steps forward even when fear is loud, because progress matters. And in that consistency, you find something far greater than comfort. You find freedom. The truth is, excuses may seem small in the moment, but they accumulate like chains, binding you tighter with each repetition. Freedom does not come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from acting despite imperfection. Each time you rise above an excuse, you reclaim a piece of your power. And with enough victories, you begin to walk in unstoppable momentum. So tell yourself every single day, I am stronger than my excuses. Let those words become the hammer that shatters every limitation, the shield that protects you from self-sabotage, and the fuel that drives you when motivation fades. Because the life you dream of will not wait for your excuses to disappear. It will only appear when you rise above them and prove with action that nothing will stop you. And as you rise above excuses, another truth becomes vital. I am capable of creating my own opportunities. Too often people wait, hoping for luck, waiting for the right connection, the perfect timing, or a door to magically open. But life rarely hands out golden chances wrapped neatly at your feet. Life rewards those who move, those who knock on doors until one opens, and those who build new doors when none exists. The belief that opportunities must come from the outside keeps people trapped in waiting mode. Waiting breeds hesitation. Hesitation breeds regret, and regret becomes a heavy burden that steals your future. But when you remind yourself every day that you are capable of creating opportunities, you shift from waiting to building, from hoping to acting, from powerless to unstoppable. Opportunity is not a gift given by chance. It is the result of courage, effort, and persistence. Psychologists call this an internal locus of control, the belief that you have the power to shape your own life. Research shows that people who live with this mindset are more resilient, more successful, and more fulfilled. Why? Because they don't wait for permission. They take initiative, they create momentum, and they trust that even small steps will eventually open bigger doors. When you take responsibility for opportunity, you stop blaming circumstances and start building solutions. Think of how many great moments in your life could be waiting on the other side of a single decision to act. The decision to apply when you feel underqualified. The decision to ask when you fear rejection. The decision to try when failure feels possible. Most people let those moments pass, convincing themselves that someday will be safer. But someday is not a day of the week. Someday never comes. And every time you delay, you lose ground you will never get back. When you tell yourself, I'm capable of creating my own opportunities, you give yourself permission to be bold. You start reaching out, speaking up, showing up. You begin to see possibility where others only see obstacles. And the more you act, the more doors open. Action creates opportunity because movement attracts momentum. Energy creates attention. Courage sparks respect. Persistence creates breakthroughs. What seems impossible today becomes inevitable tomorrow when you refuse to wait and instead decide to create. This truth is not about arrogance. It is about ownership. It is about refusing to let your life be dictated by chance or by the decisions of others. It is about realizing that every single person who has ever changed the world started with the same choice to believe that they had the power to shape their own future. And you have that same choice every single day. So never again tell yourself that opportunity has passed you by. Tell yourself instead, I am capable of creating my own opportunities. Say it with conviction. Say it until it becomes a belief. Say it until it becomes action. Because when you embrace this truth, you stop waiting for life to happen to you and you start making life happen for you. And when that shift happens, there is no dream too far, no goal too high, and no barrier too strong to deny the force of someone who refuses to wait and chooses instead to create. And as you choose to create your own opportunities, you must carry another unshakable reminder, I am worthy of success. This is not about arrogance, not about believing the world owes you anything, but about recognizing the truth that so many forget. You are not here to live small. You are not here to shrink yourself. You are not here to apologize for your ambitions. You are here to rise, to grow, to achieve, and to embrace the life that your effort and persistence can unlock. Too many people sabotage themselves before they even begin, not because they lack talent, not because they lack potential, but because deep inside they believe they do not deserve the life they dream of. They carry hidden guilt, old doubts, or the voices of others who once told them they were not enough. These silent chains hold them back no matter how hard they work, because the mind cannot fully chase what the heart does not believe it deserves. That is why every day you must declare with conviction, I am worthy of success. Psychologists call this self-worth conditioning, the way your beliefs about yourself shape your reality. When you believe you are undeserving, your mind unconsciously creates barriers, ensuring you never reach beyond what you think you're allowed to have. But when you shift that belief, when you embrace worthiness as your foundation, you remove invisible ceilings that once kept you trapped. You stop settling for less. You stop doubting your right to progress, and you begin to pursue your goals with confidence, persistence, and boldness. Success does not belong only to a chosen few. It belongs to those who believe deeply enough to pursue it without apology. It belongs to those who wake up and remind themselves that they are not less than anyone else, not defined by past mistakes, not limited by failures, and not chained to circumstances. Every time you say, I am worthy of success, you silence the lie that you must be perfect to achieve. You remind yourself that effort is enough, progress is enough, and persistence will always outweigh perfection. Imagine the power of starting each day with this belief. You would no longer chase opportunities timidly, afraid of rejection. You would walk into them boldly, knowing rejection is not a statement about your worth, but a redirection towards something greater. You would stop comparing your journey to others because you would recognize that worth is not measured by competition, but by courage. And you would no longer feel guilty for wanting more, because you would understand that wanting more is not greed, it is growth. Every great accomplishment begins not with action, but with belief. Belief that you are allowed to have it. Belief that you are enough. Belief that your work, your dedication, your sacrifice deserves to bear fruit. And when you carry this belief, your energy changes, your posture changes, your decisions change. You stop hesitating, you stop hiding, you stop waiting for permission. Instead, you step fully into the truth that you belong in the space where your dreams live. So speak it again and again until it takes root. I am worthy of success. Let it sink so deeply into your soul that no criticism, no failure, no setback can ever make you forget. Because the world does not get brighter when you play small. The world gets brighter when you rise into your full potential. And when you believe in your worth, you give yourself permission to rise without limits. And as you affirm that you are worthy of success, you must also remind yourself of another unbreakable truth. I am not defined by my past. Too many people carry the weight of yesterday as if it were a permanent sentence, dragging old mistakes, failures, and disappointments into every new day. They rehearse their regrets until they become part of their identity, convincing themselves that what once happened must always define what will happen. But your past is not your prison. It is your teacher. It may shape you, but it does not limit you. Every person alive has stumbled, failed, and fallen short. That is part of being human. Yet the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is simple. Those who rise choose to learn from the past instead of living in it. They use their history as fuel, not as chains. They take the lessons, release the shame, and step forward with greater wisdom. And you have that same power within you. Neuroscience shows that the brain rewires itself through experience. What that means is this: you are never permanently fixed to old patterns. With focus and repetition, you can reshape your thoughts, your behaviors, and your identity. You can literally outgrow the person you once were. The past does not have the authority to define you unless you give it permission. The moment you decide to stop replaying old stories, you begin writing new ones. When you tell yourself daily, I am not defined by my past, you create freedom. Freedom from shame that no longer serves you. Freedom from the voices of others who judged you. Freedom from the fear that one mistake can erase your future. You remind yourself that failure is not final, that pain is not permanent, and that growth is always possible. The power of your life lies not behind you, but in the steps you choose to take now. Think of what changes when you live this truth. You stop apologizing for who you once were and instead focus on who you are becoming. You stop hiding your scars and instead wear them as proof that you survived, that you endured, that you kept going. You stop comparing your journey to others because you understand that everyone has a past, and what truly matters is what you do with your present. Even the heaviest past cannot outweigh the strength of a determined present. What matters is the decision to rise again and again. No matter how many times you've fallen, every day you breathe is a fresh page and you hold the pen. You can write redemption, resilience, and renewal into your story. You can choose to let yesterday strengthen you instead of suffocate you. So speak it with power. I'm not defined by my past. Let that truth shatter every label, every memory, every limitation that once held you back. Let it free you to step boldly into who you are now, into who you are becoming, into the limitless potential that still lies ahead. Because your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Your future is waiting for the moment you finally believe that.